What's going on, guys? Welcome back to CK2 Plus in the house Karling. And before we get started today, I just want to say a huge thanks to all of you who have left their opinions in the comment section of the last episode because, your feedback has been great and has actually helped me tremendously. I will continue the format. I will still experiment with this new format, having more cuts in the video, because I believe it has a very huge potential. I might actually do an extra video where I just talk about why I'm even experimenting with this. But I don't think this fits here right now. I just want to say thank you so much for your opinions because that really helps me greatly. So there's going to be a few more cuts here today as well, but also the video itself will be longer, which seems to have been the most, the thing you guys were most concerned about. But yeah, I will actually spend quite a lot of time talking about our new character, Emperor Raymond Karling, because I gotta say, he's one of the, if not the, most interesting characters I've ever had the chance to play as, because at first glance, he looks like an incredibly terrible character, but having spent some time, just looking at him and trying to figure out his personality, I think he's not a bad guy. I think Emperor Raymond isn't as bad as it might seem. First of all, the first indication is his profile picture or just his portrait. I mean, he doesn't look terrible. He's trying to smile. He's actually kind of a nice guy. Well, we'll get into this right now. So, first of all, I think what's most striking about him, well, not most striking, but something that we definitely need to keep in mind is that he's a humble person and he is depressed. So what I'm taking from this is that he's not ready, he doesn't feel ready for rulership or for life in general. And I also think that he doesn't actually want to be emperor. I don't think he really cares much. He's not lazy, like he's gonna do it, right? He's not gonna abdicate or anything like this, but I don't think he's very happy. He would have rather not had this burden, in my opinion anyways. Now, he's also a flamboyant schemer, which is his upbringing sort of thing, and he's also deceitful. So he definitely sort of manipulative, dishonest, and he's kind of working from the shadows. This is basically just his general character, right? He doesn't really like to show off because he's humble, and he doesn't really like to be in the spotlight necessarily. So being emperor is probably not the best position for him. Now, he also, and this is probably maybe the most striking about him, he is possessed. He has voices in his head. He himself sometimes is speaking in tongues, spitting, assaulting those nearby, and so on and so forth. So that's a major issue that is obviously holding him back or whatever. That's definitely affecting his character, his personality. And I think that due to the voices in his head, he actually became paranoid and cruel. I think these two stats of his character are only because of these voices. I think otherwise he's a generally good guy, or he's trying to be anyways, but because of these voices that drive him nuts, he's very paranoid. He's seen shadows in every corner sort of thing. We'll talk about this more because especially we're going to have a special relationship with our son. And he's cruel. And I think this also ties back into his depression, but we'll talk about this a little bit more as well. And then, lastly, he is a lustful guy, and he's an aspiring seducer. So for all of those who have always wanted to have a seduction emperor, well, there you have it. You're going to have your seduction spree. And we're truly going to have sex with everything that we can in this playthrough for as Emperor Raymond, because in my opinion, sex is the one thing in his life that suppresses the voices in his head. In my opinion, he desperately tries to escape, whatever evil is in his head, and the only way he can do this is when he actually has sex, because I don't know, the women are screaming, or maybe just because he actually feels good for a very short moment in his life. And so he's trying to, he's a sex addict, I would say. That's just kind of the thing. And now, as I said, this is going to tie back into some of the other traits. One thing I want to mention here is that he has a lover's memento. So what that means to me, once again, it shows that he's not terrible. He's not just using women predominantly for sex, he also does care about them in a way, because he appreciates that, they give him some relief from these voices in his head. So he doesn't treat them like shit. He's not necessarily generous like Catherine the Great to her lovers, but he does recognize them, and he does understand what they do for him, right? And so he currently does have a lover, Adele, and we're actually gonna invite her to our court right now. This should have been done already, but maybe his father didn't approve. I don't know. So he's gonna be invited right now, or she's gonna be invited anyways. And just have a quick look at her. Like, she's lustful as well. She's proud. And she's ambitious as well, and she's insane. So I think maybe because she's insane, she's gonna put up with him. But I think she kind of just tries to manipulate him. I think she just wants power, and she might very well get that power as well. But we'll see once she's actually arrived at court. Now, as I said, he has the lover's memento. I think he really deeply cares about the women that give in to his demands, desires. But those that reject him, I think they're not going to have a great time. I think that is when, because he's depressed, like, he can't really deal with the rejection, and then, yeah, he's going to snap. And so there's a woman in particular at court that might be the first one to have a problem with this, and that will be Jean. She is celibate, but if she wants to... Well, and she's chaste as well, so she's double negative or whatever. But, like, he wants her, and if she accepts, I don't know if she can, but if she does accept, she will be marshal, and she will have all kinds of benefits. But if she doesn't, she's gonna burn. That is something I can already spoil here. But I think, I haven't picked the focus yet, so let's go ahead and do that, because I'm actually not sure if you can even attempt to seduce celibates. I have the feeling you can't. Yeah, you can't. That's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. So, she's not going to die. I think she's just not going to be at court. Excuse me. She's just not going to be at court. She's going to lose everything that she's had. She's not going to have an honorary title. And I think she's just... I don't know, maybe... Actually... Since we can't have her this way, we might have her in another way. Yeah, I think this is the Emperor that is going to have a personal sex dungeon. I just realized that. Okay, let's see. There seems to be one person in particular that is interested in helping us. He's interesting because I'll be talking about him a little bit more. Okay, let's just invite whoever we can. I think that's going to be fine. One thing you saw right here is that we have a decision to lower Imperial Decadence. It's currently at 18, and this actually has some effects. Right now, we lose tax, and the morale of our armies is also reduced. So this is kind of interesting, something to keep in mind. I don't think it really matters to Raymond that much. He's not going to expand or do anything fancy. He really just want to live. He really just wants to live his life. I think this is his primary goal. But yeah, that's one thing. Also, as for ambitions, there's not really much that fits other than having 10 children. I don't think he cares about the children, but it's going to be inevitable if you have sex with so many women that, will have some offspring. And, I mean, he already has quite a few children. 2 of them died, but, he still has 4 children that are currently alive. And yeah, speaking of his children, I think we should talk about his firstborn son and current heir, Prince Richard. Now, this man is honest, he's envious, and he is arbitrary. Also charitable, but I think this doesn't really fit much in here. So, his honesty, I think Richard is telling, maybe not so much so far, because he's only 17, but I think as time goes on, I see Richard telling his father that, his lifestyle is not cool. Like, father, you got to get your shit together, you got to stop having sex and sleeping around and all these kinds of things. And I think Richard is going to be speaking up to him, and while at the same time, doing shitty things himself. I could see that. He's totally arbitrary. Like, he talks shit about his father, but he doesn't actually, he's not really a saint himself. And at the same time, he's sort of envious, right? I think Richard... He may not be ambitious, but he kind of wants to be in a position of power, and that coupled with the paranoia of our Emperor is causing some bad blood between these two. And so what I've decided to do is I can't really do anything about the Empire right now, because we don't have elective succession laws here, but we might try to implement that later on. But for France, as well as Bulgaria, I've decided to vote for our cousin, Duke Everard the Wicked. Now, the only reason I've really done this is because, you know, he's kin, so we're still trying to keep this in the family, but he's possessed. So because we both have these voices in our head, I'm just kind of picturing like, okay, they somehow bond because of this. And so, obviously, we're voting for the only other possessed Karling that is in any position of power right now. Yeah, last but not least, a few other things I would like to mention. First of all, I would have tried or thinking about joining the Lucifer's Own, but they're not here. I'm not sure, did I turn them off or something? I don't know, but for some reason they're not. Maybe it's also the CK2 Plus mod that doesn't allow for this. I don't know, but that's kind of a shame. I would have loved to check them out. And another thing that is kind of completely unrelated, but we have our tributaries. So just as I clicked away all of these notifications we had, basically all of the previous tributaries have bent the knee once more, and so we continue our strong grip over this over the British Isles. Yeah. Oh, and one more thing I wanted to show you is I've actually never had a look at the treasury, or I've not had a look at the treasury in a while, and we can actually pick a new weapon. Right now we have the throwing axe equipped, which yeah, is interesting, but I'm actually going to unequip that. Instead, I want to go for the Trident, because first of all, it's the better weapon in general, like it's giving more prestige and stuff, but this is not the real reason. The real reason is because, to me, it sounds more, or not sounds, but it looks more insane. I don't know, it just, to me, it fits this possessed character, so we'll go with this. We also have an engraved sword. I think, this is already weapon slot. Okay, but this is ceremonial weapon. Wait, the golden sword +2. Okay, with regular characters, I probably would go with the golden sword, but because we're humble, I think we're just gonna leave that. And we're gonna also, yeah, we're gonna actually keep the inferior crown and sword, because we just don't care about it that much. So yeah, that's fine. And it, you know, it doesn't really change much. Anyways, perfect. So that's the setup, and now I'm going to be going forward, and as I said, I will have a few cuts in this video. I started to appoint our counselors. We've kept our chancellor and the court chaplain. I think that's fine. I have obviously removed Jean as the marshal, and she's going to be kidnapped. And I have just, you know, made some random dude steward. I think that doesn't really matter that much. Now we have the obviously very important position of spy master, and we have a woman that seems very yeah, with a great potential, I guess, but she has to pass a certain test before she can be accepted. So we're going to try and seduce her. If she accepts, she has the job. If not, she's probably gonna die. But yeah, just wanted to let you guys know. Our lover Adele has finally arrived at court, and immediately will make her the High Almoner. I'd like to show you this event just as a side note. The Bishop Adabel the Wicked of the Abbey of Cluny is asking us for money. This dude has 7,000 gold. That's insane. He's got more gold than the Emperor of the most powerful empire in the world. And he's asking us for money. Now, I've been thinking about what we should do. I guess it could go either way. I think at this point, we might just try and improve our standing. I think, yeah, we will. We're going to give some money. Why not? Sure. We don't really have a chance to get the Duchess. I think what I need to do, I need to have her at court first. I need to give her the position first before she can even accept. Because we were never able to reach her. And then I put myself in an army, and now it shows my current occupation leaves me no time to chase the Duchess. So there is no rush, and I will now stand down, and I hope this, now that she's at court, we will have a chance. Oh, very nice. Gifts of love. It's looking good. We sent her a gift, and she, well, replied in kind. Now, this is truly wonderful news. An envoy from the Pope Alexander has informed all members of the Karling dynasty the late Emperor Richard is to be formally declared a saint during a special ceremony in 3 months' time. Now, this is truly amazing, not necessarily for our character, but for me as a player, because I think our previous emperor was truly one of the best, just one of the best emperors ever. Like he was an amazing character, as in like a good character. So I feel like he's definitely earned his nickname, and he definitely earned his sainthood. We finally have an opportunity to abduct Jean. 70% chance, we'll go for it. We have succeeded. This is very good. Jean has been delivered in a sack to an abandoned keep near Paris. There she is at my mercy, and no one can hear her screams. All that remains to decide what to do with her. Kill her? No, 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 no. She will be imprisoned. Oh, yes. You know what I just realized? The visit to chambers may not actually be in CK2+. This may be a Game of Thrones thing. That's so unfortunate because it would fit incredibly amazing. There's actually my whole plan that all the women that refuse us will end up in a dungeon and, well, we end up in them anyways. But that does not seem to be the case. So I'll have to think about something else. Well, we're definitely going to torture them. I think this is the only... That's the only thing we can really do, right? I mean, we don't have any other chance. It's what the voices in our head tell us. So I gotta thinking about this carefully. Do we want to... I don't think blinding is very useful. Humiliating? No, I don't think that's enough. Either mutilating, but I think we want to start with torture. And yeah, we'll just see how that goes. So now that a bucket of rats was strapped to Jean's chest, we have the chance to release her, but that is not going to happen. She had her chance, and well, I guess technically she never had the chance because she was celibate, but whatever. She's not gonna be set free. We'll see if she is becoming stressed because of this. Yeah. I've got two rather bad news. First of all, Jean very quickly died in our dungeons. I would have really expected her to last a little bit longer, but maybe Jesus abandoned her, I don't know. But that was kind of anticlimactic. I don't know, she survived like 2 months. That was it. Still, because I can't visit chambers, let's still say in our head anyways that he had his way with her, because that was just kind of what he would have done. I think this is kind of the torture he would have done. But anyways, so that's Jean dead. Yeah, she did quite... I mean, just think about her life. It's rather tragic, right? She was a commoner from nowhere. Then, somehow, she gained the favor of one of the best emperors in the world, someone who's even named a saint. And then his shitty son, in her eyes anyways, takes over, and she's just done. Like, she didn't... Like, how many months into his reign? Like, maybe 5 months into his reign, and she's dead. She lost everything from being the marshal of the strongest empire in the world to just dying in some dungeon. But yeah, the other bad news is that our Chancellor Domingo the Cruel has denounced us harshly. We know about this, which means two things. First of all, you are fucking fired. There's no... Yeah, we're not waiting for this. And... yes, thank you. You'll be rotten in our dungeons. We will not have anyone against us. I do need to pick someone else now. A new woman. Felicia the Fox. I do wonder if she can be seduced as well. Probably not, but we'll still occupy with the other one. I'll give her the position now, and if she refuses later, well, she's gonna end up in the dungeon. We just have a temporary setback here. We sent a scented love letter to Euphemia's pillow, and she answered, and it did not smell of roses. That's actually kind of fun. Now, I'm not sure how long I'm going to play this game, because at some point, you know, our emperor is fragile. You know, he can only be rejected so many times. I think he's rejected him at least 2 times now. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt that it's only been 2 times. I think 3 times, 3 rejections like this. And I think that's going to be your issue. So if she rejects him one more time, she's going to lose her title and probably her head. She must have heard what I just said, because look at this. Duchess Euphemia must have got my message. For I found a lock of hair, her hair, wrapped in silk with her personal seal in my chambers. Very good. I would say this maybe resets the rejections. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure. And there we have it, Saint Richard the Illustrious. In an elaborate ceremony conducted by Pope Alexander III, the late Emperor Richard has been formally recognized for his generous nature and piety and declared a Catholic saint. The faithful line the streets, listening to the hymns sung in the cathedral, and rejoice when the declaration is finally made. The man once known as Emperor Richard will now and forever more be known as Saint Richard the Illustrious. So apparently we do not tolerate any cravenness in our court, and we now have the chance to either pretend to push someone off the walls or scare them in the middle of the night. I think I'm going to go with the walls type of thing, just to see. I think it fits more. And he actually doesn't seem... Oh, he does mind. Okay. Yeah, but not for long, I suppose. Yeah, okay, and here's what I've decided, that she's given us a little bit something. You know, the Duchess has given us something, and now she's got 2 more rejections again. I think this is how we'll play this, because I don't see Raymond being, like, super confident. So whenever they give him a little bit, I think he'll be like, alright, fine. But yeah, 3 times in a row, rejected, and you're done for. So we managed to chance upon Euphemia alone in the kitchens, for some reason. But yeah, we're of course going to make a lewd suggestion. That is probably the best way to go about this. Actually, I don't know. She's not lustful. We'll do it anyways. So she backed away from us, but she blushed and stammered. So I don't know. She's not an outright. It's not an outright rejection. So it's a first one. We'll count it, but it's not terrible. Like if she had been more decisive in her rejection, I think she may have actually died right now. But this, I'm not too certain. She might just be shy. And wow, our possessed cousin, Duke Everett the Wicked of Berry, has just committed suicide, and that means we need to nominate someone new as our successor for Bulgaria and France. I don't want to pick my son, so maybe I'm just going to pick, yeah, Raoul, actually. We do seem to like him quite a bit. I would have wished it wouldn't have come to this, but yeah, there's the 3rd rejection of our spy mistress. That means, sorry lady, but it's time to give up. The chase is ended, and so is your life, very soon. So I just got the event that started the immortality event chain, and we now have the meeting of the minds, and the only person that we really trust here seems to be our new spy master, the mayor of Paris. So we'll send him, and hopefully he'll handle this discreetly. 2 important things have happened. First of all, our wife has died of, yeah, surprisingly the dreaded plague, but it might as well be the deaded plague. Which means we need another wife, and I think we are gonna pick our lover. Even though this might not be the best, well, marriage, but I think it fits, and we don't really care about anything. And secondly, the Pope seems to be upset, and since we are humble, I think we're gonna just... yeah, we're going to submit ourselves to the church. And as it says right here, the Pope approves of our obedience. I think this is really cool. This Duke Domingo the Cruel, he was our Chancellor previously. He spoke out against us, we fired him, and I actually wanted to kill him after we finished our other plot, kidnapping that Duchess. But now he already died of camp fever, and we inherited his titles. I'm going to have to redistribute them, but... what's this? Lack for military training. Oh, yeah, sure, we'll exploit this. We're gonna get some cavalry leader for free, basically. But yeah, so we inherited these titles, which I think is really, really cool. And I'm gonna have to check out who I'm gonna give this to. Perhaps to my 3rd son, or maybe my 2nd. I don't know. We'll have to think about this, or my first anyway. I'll have to think about this, but I will do this in between episodes. Because, yeah, I think we've reached a good time here. Thank you guys so much for watching so far. I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you like Emperor Raymond so far. And I also hope that you like the style a little bit more now that the video is a little bit longer. Let me know in the comment section. And, yeah, I'll see you guys next time.